Imagine for a terrifying moment the ground beneath your feet lurches. The air fills with an impossible sound, a deafening screech that shakes you to your very bones, and then everything stops. Most of us take it for granted, but our planet is a giant spinning top, constantly rotating at over 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. This constant silent motion underpins everything we know about life on Earth. But what if it didn't? What if in one cataclysmic instant that ancient steady rotation ground to a halt? What would happen then? The answer isn't just dramatic. It's a vision of global annihilation and a stark reminder of how fragile our existence truly is. Get ready to have your perspective on our blue marble completely shattered. The very first second the Earth stops spinning, everything not bolted down, and even some things that are, would be flung eastward at incredible speeds. Think about it. If you're at the equator, you're suddenly moving from 1,000 miles per hour to zero. Your body, the buildings around you, the car you're driving, the very pavement you stand on, would all keep going due to inertia. It would be like slamming on the brakes in a car going 1,000 miles an hour. Nothing would survive. But that's just the start. The oceans, vast and heavy, would not stop their momentum. Imagine a wall of water miles high, sweeping across continents. We're not talking about a tsunami. This would be an oceanic cataclysm unlike anything ever conceived. This colossal wave, traveling at hundreds of miles per hour, would strip entire land masses bare. Cities, forests, mountainsides, they would all be scoured away, leaving behind utterly reshaped continents. Pebbles would become deadly projectiles, cars would turn into metal shrapnel, and every unanchored object, from a discarded plastic bottle to a skyscraper, would become part of a deadly, eastward bound hurricane of debris. The Earth's surface would be brutally sandpapered, erasing almost all traces of human civilization and most natural landscapes in a matter of hours. Even if you managed to somehow survive the initial kinetic impact, the atmosphere wouldn't be on your side. While the solid Earth slams to a halt, the atmosphere, a separate entity of gases, would still possess its rotational momentum. It wouldn't just stop because the ground did. This means the air itself would continue rushing eastward at those same incredible speeds, hundreds of miles per hour. We're talking about super hurricanes the likes of which defy imagination. Winds so powerful they wouldn't just strip leaves from trees, they'd strip bark, then wood, then rock. Mountains would erode in hours, not millennia. Landscapes would be reshaped by air currents alone. Imagine winds that could flatten entire mountain ranges, scour bedrock down to dust, and hurl anything that somehow survived the initial impact across vast distances. These atmospheric behemoths would relentlessly buffet the planet, turning every surface into a wasteland and ensuring that nothing could breathe in such a terrifying, turbulent environment. The very air, usually life giving, would become an invisible, destructive force of nature, completing the demolition job on a planetary scale. Beyond the immediate devastating chaos, the planet itself would undergo a profound transformation. Without its rotation, the Earth would no longer have a familiar day night cycle. Instead, one side would be locked permanently facing the sun, while the other would be plunged into eternal darkness. The sun facing side would become an unimaginable oven. Temperatures would soar, baking the land, boiling away any remaining surface water, and creating a desolate, uninhabitable desert. Any atmosphere remaining would be superheated, incapable of sustaining life. On the flip side, the permanently shadowed half would become an ice-bound, desolate wasteland. Without the sun's warmth, temperatures would plummet to extreme lows, freezing everything solid, potentially including parts of the atmosphere itself. The sheer difference in temperature between these two extremes, scorching hot and brutally cold, would generate incomprehensible atmospheric pressures, leading to even more violent and continuous weather patterns along the twilight zone, the narrow strip separating the two halves. This slim, habitable band, if it even existed, would be subject to constant violent transitions, as superheated air from the dayside clashed with supercooled air from the nightside, creating an eternal storm. Our planet has a secret shield, an invisible force field that protects us from the sun's deadly radiation and harmful cosmic rays, its magnetic field. This field is generated deep within the Earth by the motion of molten iron in the outer core, driven in large part by the planet's rotation. If the Earth were to stop spinning, this crucial dynamo would likely grind to a halt. The consequences would be dire. Without a functioning magnetic field, our planet would lose its primary defense against the sun's wrath. Deadly cosmic rays normally deflected would bombard the surface. This radiation would ionize the atmosphere, making it impossible for complex life to survive unprotected. It would cause widespread genetic damage, destroy DNA, and lead to cancers on an unprecedented scale if anything were left alive to experience it. Combined with the extreme weather and temperatures, the collapse of the magnetic field would effectively sterilize the planet's surface, making it utterly uninhabitable for most known forms of life. Our once vibrant blue marble would become a barren radiation blasted rock. Even the very ground beneath our feet, the bedrock that forms continents, would revolt against such an abrupt change. Our Earth isn't a solid static ball, it's a dynamic system with a molten core, a viscous mantle, and a constantly shifting crust. The sudden cessation of rotation would introduce immense stress throughout the planet's internal structure. Imagine the planet's core still trying to churn, suddenly lacking the rotational forces that organize its motion. This massive internal adjustment would likely trigger unprecedented geological activity. We could see a catastrophic increase in volcanic eruptions, as the sudden shifts in pressure and stresses in the mantle force molten rock to the surface. Earthquakes, far more powerful than anything recorded in human history, would rip across the planet as the tectonic plates, normally gliding along on a spinning sphere, suddenly have their delicate balance disrupted. Mountains would crumble, new rifts would open, and continents could fracture or buckle under the unimaginable strain. The planet would be in a constant state of agonizing geological upheaval, struggling to find a new equilibrium in its new non rotational state, making any surface survival even more improbable. Given this horrific chain of events, the prospect of human survival seems almost impossible. But let's indulge in a sliver of desperate hope. If humanity were somehow given advance warning, or if tiny pockets of people managed to survive the initial onslaught, what then? Survival would hinge on escaping the surface entirely. Deep underground bunkers designed to withstand not just nuclear blasts but also super hurricanes, tectonic shifts, and extreme temperature fluctuations would be the only hope. These habitats would need to be self sufficient, providing their own breathable air, clean water, and food sources insulated from the radiation and geological chaos above. Perhaps specialized mobile habitats capable of navigating the twilight zone might offer a long term solution, moving with the sun's scorching edge or the creeping frost line. But even then, the constant struggle for resources, the psychological toll of eternal day or night, and the sheer environmental instability would present immense, almost insurmountable challenges. It would require a level of technological advancement, global cooperation, and human resilience we've barely begun to grasp. It's a testament to the sheer destructive power of this hypothetical scenario that survival isn't about adapting, but about completely isolating ourselves from the planet we call home. The thought of our spinning world suddenly grinding to a halt is a terrifying thought experiment. It highlights just how delicate the balance is that sustains all life on Earth, and how fundamentally important even the simplest planetary dynamics are. It forces us to confront the profound impact even a single, seemingly small change could have.